Alright guys, today I'm going to show you how I make my mean green, high protein, vegan chicken Alfredo. Now for the chicken in this, you can use whatever you would like. I'm using the Morningstar chicken strips. We're using 6 servings of this. So 2 bags is 7 servings. You can add more if you would like, just use both bags, but I measured out exactly 6 servings. So I went ahead and cooked up my 6 servings of the Morningstar chicken with just water. I didn't use any oil. We're going to set these aside and use the same pan to cook our onions and our garlic. So we're going to turn our heat on the skillet to a medium-low. And we're going to dice up 2 medium-sized onions. We basically want 2 cups of diced onion. And you don't have to chop this perfectly. They can be a rough chop because we're going to blend them up anyway. Alright, we're going to add a little bit of olive oil to the pan. I'm using the Frizzle High Heat Cooking Oil spray. I'm just going to spray a little bit in here just to help the onions. Alright, dump your onion in the pan like so. And basically we just want to cook these until they're translucent. Get some good color on them if you can. I like to get them a little charred because they just taste better. And we're blending them up in the blender with the sauce. Now that our onions are cooking, we're going to cut up a whole head of garlic. Does not need to be fine. You don't need to crush it. You don't need to dice it finely. Just roughly chop it. It's going to be blended into the sauce. Now we've got to take a half a cup of cashews and soak them. If you have not soaked them the night before, or at least for a couple of hours, I would pour some boiling water on top. And we're just going to let that soak while we cook up our garlic and onions. After we got some color on the onions here, we're going to add in our roughly minced up garlic. Mix it around, and we're going to let this cook for a couple of minutes, and then we're going to add a little bit of water to deglaze the pan here. And now we are going to transfer our garlic and onions to our blender. Now to that same pan, we are going to add some water because we are going to cook our spinach in it. This is a whole pound of spinach, so we're not going to throw the whole thing all in at once, but a little bit at a time. And then after the spinach is all cooked down, as it's cooked down, we're going to take it out with some tongs carefully and add that to the blender as well. I am going to add a little bit of salt to this water. In the meantime, we're going to add some other ingredients to our blender. We're going to add the juice of a whole lemon, a teaspoon of onion powder, a teaspoon of garlic powder, and a half a cup of nutritional yeast. So my skillet was big enough to put in this whole pound of spinach, which is surprising. I took my blender over to the stove, so it's going to be easier to just take it with the tongs out of the water and put it right in the blender. And this doesn't take long, only like a minute or two, and see how it's already shrinking in size and it's very soft. You're going to take it out and pop it right in the blender. Alright, and when you predominantly got most of your spinach out, it's okay if there's a little bit left. We're actually not going to drain the water. If you wanted to do that, you could, but I don't want to waste the salt, and I don't want to waste the water, and I don't want to waste the nutrients from the spinach. I'm going to add a little bit more salt and a little bit more water, and I'm going to use the same water to cook my spaghetti. And you can use whatever pasta you want. I'm just using the Barilla Protein Plus spaghetti. Now our blender is looking kind of full, but we still have room for the rest of our ingredients. That's why I like to pre-cook the spinach before putting it in here, because otherwise it's going to take up a lot more space. We're going to crumble in our block of fava bean tofu. You can use regular super firm tofu if you'd like, but this one has amazing macros. Just crumble it right on in there. Alright, and once our water starts to boil, we're going to add our pasta, and you'll have to cook your pasta per the instructions on the box, whatever pasta you chose. Mine is like 7 to 9 minutes. Alright, we're going to want to drain our cashews and then add them to the blender. Then with our glass measuring cup, we're going to get a cup of this pasta water here to add to the blender. You might need more or less depending. Now we're gonna go ahead and start blending this up. If you need more liquid, you can add more water. You can use pasta water or normal water. Once your pasta is done cooking, we're gonna go ahead and drain it. We're gonna put the pan right back on the burner. Make sure you've turned the heat off because the residual heat will do what we need it to do, and we don't want it to do what that's doing. Like, it's starting to splatter. Go ahead and get all that sauce in there. Now we are going to add in the vegan chicken that we cooked earlier. We're gonna add in our pasta. And then using some tongs, we're just gonna toss this around. And you may have noticed I didn't add any salt besides the pasta water. That's because I recommend salting to taste. I'm also going to add pepper and some herbs also. All right, so you're gonna wanna taste it, and I did. So I'm gonna add a teaspoon of salt, a teaspoon of black pepper. I'm gonna add a heaping teaspoon of oregano and a heaping teaspoon of dried basil. And that is perfect for me. Now this is a lot of sauce. If you don't like it super saucy like I do, you could cook like another serving or two of pasta and that would be perfect. But this sauce will thicken up, especially because I'm doing it for meal prep. It is gonna thicken up more, especially when you put it in the fridge. Right, I'm gonna show you guys how I plate this up. And voila, you guys, there she is. Doesn't she look vibrant and beautiful? Now you guys can add some vegan parm on top. My family really likes the Follow Your Heart. If that's not your cup of tea, you can use some nutritional yeast. I have a homemade vegan Parmesan recipe on the channel using walnuts, nooch, salt, and garlic powder, and it's just that simple. But yeah, this is a super delicious and high protein meal. It makes 6 servings. Every serving is about 560 calories and about 57 grams of protein. And it is so delicious. It tastes indulgent, but it is secretly really good for you. I hope you guys give this one a try.